So, welcome back to the ongoing series of talks on Vishnu Sahasranama, in which we are appreciating the one Lord and his infinite Swarupa through the countless namas. So, each name is appreciating one facet of Bhagavan. Yeah. And we know that Bhagavan is not limited to one thing, not limited to one time or one space. Bhagavan is Sarvavyapakaha, all pervading, and Bhagavan is everything, and it is all the times, that which is present in all the three periods of time. Yeah. So this is what we are discovering, the Swarupa of Bhagavan through the window of each Nama in this Sahasranama. Yeah? And that is why it is said that Bhagavan is Desha Kala Vastu Aparichinna Paramatattvam. Yeah? Bhagavan cannot be restricted to one time or one place or one object. Yeah? And we see in the Bhagavad Gita also, in the beginning of chapter 12, remember the question of Arjuna. Arjuna asked Krishna the question, Krishna, which is better, worshipping you through a Nama Rupa or worshipping you as that Nirguna, Nirakara, infinite, supreme reality? And Bhagavan's answer was, Kleshaha adhikataraha tesham. That is, it is more difficult for the Dehavats, the embodied Jivas, to worship me in my infinite Swarupa. So a more intelligent and practical approach would be to worship the highest principle and tattvam through a Nama Rupa. And that is what Vishnu Sahasranama is all about. Through each Nama we are appreciating one facet, one glory of that infinite Bhagavan. So this is also called Saguna Brahma Dhyanam or Upasana. That is, dwelling on a certain Namarupa is the Saguna approach. Yeah? And then we have seen that in the Gita. Initially we start with Eka Rupa Bhakti, and then we expand the mind to Aneka Rupa Bhakti, and then finally it will merge or collapse into Arupa Ishvara Darshanam. Yeah, that is, Bhagavan is both with form and without form. So we cannot reach the nameless, formless, timeless, supreme reality without forms and names. And if we are stuck with names and forms, then that is also not the end of the spiritual journey. Yeah. So all this, as we study the Shastras, this is the route. From the Saguna we go to the Nirguna. Okay, so we have seen two Dhyana Shlokas. So today I want to explain the third Dhyana Shloka, which is very popular. Everybody knows that also. Let's look at that. Here it is. Shantakaram bhujagashyanam padmanabham suresham Vishwadharam gaganasadrisham meghavarnam shubhangam Lakshmikantam kamalanayanam yogi bhirdhyanagamyam Vande Vishnum bhavabhayaharam sarvalokaikanaatham. There are two variations, either we say Yogi Hrid. Hrid means Hridayam. Yogi Hridyanagamyam is also correct. And Yogi Bhir, that is by the yogis. Yogi Bhir Dhyanagamyam, both versions are correct. Okay. So, here the words are Shantakaram. Now, Shantakaram is you, Bhagavan, you have a very calm akaram, a calm appearance. Then Bhujaga Shayanam. What is your mattress? Shayanam. is Adisesha. Seshanaga is the serpent mattress. Puja Swamiji's joke, you all know, most of you. That is the first coiled mattress in the Jagat. On which Bhagavan you are reclining. Yeah. Padmanabham, and out of the navel we see that Pauranika description of a lotus, and then Brahmadev ready to manifest the universe. Yeah. So the navel is symbolic of the cause of creation. Yeah. The causal universe is in a causal status, and then the lotus emerges, and then Brahmadev is the cosmic mind and ready to manifest the Vedas and the entire Jagat. But you are Padmanabha. That name is going to come today in today's shloka also. Suresham. You, O Lord, you are the Isha, the master and the Lord of all the Suras. Suras are the Devatas. Not only Suras, even the Asuras, you are the Lord. You are the Lord of everyone. Then Vishwadharam, Vishwasya Adharam. You are the Adhara of this entire Vishwa, this world. You are the Adhishthanam. Gagana Sadrisham. Gagana Sadrisham is like Gagana. Gagana is space. So you are all pervading like even the space. Meghavarnam. Varnam is color. In this context, you have the color of the rain-bearing meghas, clouds. And Shubhangam. Your angas, angani, the limbs are very auspicious. Shubham. Lakshmi Kantam, you are the beloved of Mahalakshmi. Kamala Nayanam, your eyes are so beautiful as the petals of a lotus. And Yogi Bhihi Dhyana Gamyam. You are meditated upon in the hearts of the yogis. And the other version I told you, Yogi Hrid Dhyana Gamya, means you are meditated upon by yogis in their hearts, in the depths of their meditation. Then Vande, here comes the verb. Aham Vande, I salute. I salute whom? All these words, if you notice, Sanskrit students are in Dvitiya. Yeah? Aham Vande, Kam Vande Vishnum, who is Bhava Bhayaharam, Sarva Lokaikanatham. All these are in Dvitiya, which means, the describing the Lord. So I pray, I salute that Mahavishnu, who is Bhava Bhayaharam, means who removes the bhayam, the fear of Bhavasagara, of the samsara. And who is Sarva Lokasya Ekanatham, who is the one Lord of all the lokas. Yeah? Who pervades all the lokas, and all the lokas have emerged from that Bhagavan. Yeah? So this is the Dhyana Shloka, and I was telling you that there is a tune for this which Puja Swamiji would sing for us in class, and let me see if I can get that tune for all of you. Swamiji's pitch is very high, but my pitch is not so high. I will start low. Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam, Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam, Padmanabham Suresham, Padmanabham Suresham, Vishwadharam Gagana Sadrisham, Vishwadharam Gagana Sadrisham, Meghavarnam Shubhangam, Meghavarnam Shubhangam, Lakshmi Kantam Kamalanayanam, Lakshmi Kantam Kamalanayanam, Yogibhir Dhyanagamyam, Yogibhir Dhyanagamyam, Vande Vishnum Bhavabhayaharam. Vande Vishnum Bhavabhayaharam. Sarvalokaikkanatham. Sarvalokaikkanatham. Shantakaram. So we would have music sessions on this Dhyana Shloka, and it's a favorite of Puja Swamiji also. Okay. Now we come to the actual shlokas here. We have seen 4. Now we'll proceed to the 5th shloka, which starts with Swayambhu Shambhuradityaha Pushkaraksho Mahasvanaha. Let me see if I can share that. Yeah, here it is. Swayambhu Shambhuraditya Pushkaraksho Mahasvanaha Anadhinidhano Dhata Vidhata Dhaturuttamaha. Swayambhu Shambhuraditya Pushkaraksho Mahasvanaha Anadhinidhano Dhata Vidhata Dhaturuttamaha. So here we have, what are the namas here? Let us split the sandhis. Swayambhuhu, Shambhuhu, Adityaha, Pushkarakshaha, Mahasvanaha, Anadhinidhanaha, Dhata, Vidhata, Dhatu Ruttamaha. It's Dhatuhu Uttamaha. So the last 2 words is actually one nama. Sometimes we have an adjective and a noun. So here it is Dhatuhu Uttamaha or Uttamaha Dhatuhu. We'll come to that at the end. So we have about 8 or 9 namas here. So here, as I was telling you in the first session, that some of these namas, they sound different. Like here, take the first one in this shloka, Swayambhuhu. And we have seen this before in a previous shloka as Sambhavaha. So they will be the same meaning here also. And sometimes you have the same word, Vishnu, but they will have different meanings. Yeah, that is there in every Sahasranama. Now Swayambhuhu, we all know. Swayambhuhu is, oh Lord, you are independent. You are self-born. Yeah, you are not Paratantra like us. No, we are born because we were given birth to. But you are self-manifest, self-existence. So in Sanskritam we say Swayameva Swatantraha Bhavati. Swayameva. When the need was there, you manifested as an avatara. And we have these 12 Jyotirlingas in our country. Venkateshwara, Lord Venkateshwara of Tirumala is an example of Swayambhuhu. So like that you are born by your own free will. Why would Bhagavan do that? We know that Paritranaya Sadhunam Vinashaya cha Dushkritam Dharma Samsthapanarthaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. So when there is a need, and as a karma phalam for all the devotees, I manifest. Bhagavan's assurance in the Gita, chapter 4. Now you see, everything else is created. It is Paratantra. But the Lord alone is Swatantra. So that which has a divine origin and which is not man-made, is Swayambhuhu. Whereas anything you see in the creation, it is born because of the momentum of karma. The karma is the reason by which any jiva is born. So that is the meaning of Swayambhuhu, which I was telling you is the same meaning as Sambhavaha, Samyak Bhavati, who manifests effortlessly and is of divine origin. Okay. Then the next nama is Shambhuhu. Now very important as we are getting ready to celebrate the night of Shambhu, Mahashivaratri tomorrow. Not only night, but the day also. The day and the night is considered very auspicious when the whole cosmos is aligned with a high power. And when we tap into that power through spiritual practices like fasting and pujas or mantra japa and staying awake, then it brings about a high degree of purification. And the idea of this festival is to transcend the matter tattvam, anatma, and to discover the paramatatvam. But here we have the word, the nama Shambhuhu. Shambhuhu is also very frequently we come across this. Sham. Sham means auspiciousness or happiness. Yeah. So you, O Lord, you are Shambhuhu means you are the giver of happiness. You bestow auspiciousness. And that from Sham only comes Shanti also. Sham is a root in Sanskritam which means to quieten. Yeah, and hence Shanti. But what is the Param Sham? Param Sham is Moksha. Yeah, that is the Paramananda Moksha Phalam also you are capable of granting your devotees. Yeah. So you are that Shambhuhu. Then we have the next word is also well known, Adityaha. Incidentally, we are seeing the meaning of these namas as per Shankara Bhashyam. Yeah? I told you the story about how Shankaracharya began with the Bhashyam commentary on the Vishnu Sahasranama before taking up any of the Vedanta Shastras. Yeah? So here is this book by a compilation of the talks given by Pujya Swamiji on the Vishnu Sahasranama, and this includes the Bhashya, the commentary. How does Adi Shankaracharya comment upon each of the namas? So I am also following that method. Okay. Now Aditya has got a number of meanings, and the most common meaning is, the sun, the Devata. So when we say Aditya, whom are we praying to when we do Sandhya Vandanam or Gayatri Japam? We are praying to that Hiranmayaha Purushaha, the divine being indwelling the solar orb. Yeah? So it is not the physical sun, obviously, that we are praying to. So some people pray to the Devata in the form of Gayatri Devi or Savita Devi or Surya Narayana. No? That is the Jiva that we are praying to. The exalted Surya Devata. That is the Aditya. Then we see that there are, Shankaracharya gives other explanations. One is Aditehe Pati. Patihi. So Aditi in this context is Akhandita Bhumi Devi. Bhudevi is Aditi, one meaning. So who is the Lord of the earth, the one who protects and nourishes the earth? That is you as Aditya. Aditehe Patihi iti Adityaha. Yeah. And then we have in the Gita, if you remember, in the 10th chapter, Vibhuti Yoga, Bhagavan has said, Adityanam Aham Vishnu. So there are 12 Adityas, it is said. Now what does that mean? Simply means that in the 12 months of the year, we see different phases of the sun. Yeah, the June phase is extremely harsh. Yeah. And then we have the, Makara Sankranti, sun, when it moves into the Makara. So like that, there are different facets of the sun which we experience in one year. Okay. Like that is why we repeat the 12 Surya Namaskara mantras. Om Mitraya Namaha. Mitra, you are the friend of the universe. No? And Pushne Namaha, you are the nourisher of the universe. So as Aditya here, it is you are Vishnu. Vishnu means you are all pervading. How the all pervading light of the sun just envelops the whole globe. So that is also the third meaning of Aditya in this Nama. And the fourth meaning is a Vedantic meaning. You all know by now how often we have, connected the sun and space with Atma Tattvam. So just as the one sun is reflecting off a building, of a tree, of a face, of water bodies, sun is one, but reflections are many. So too, the Atma, sun or Kshetrajnaha is one, but it is indwelling all the kshetrams. Yeah? So these are the various meanings given of Aditya. Yeah? Then we have the next nama is Swayambhuhu over Shambhuhu Adityaha Pushkarakshaha. Very simple. Pushkarakshaha. What is a Pushkara? Pushkara is a lotus. Yeah. Incidentally, there are hundreds of synonyms for lotus in the Sanskrit language. Akshi. Akshi means eye. So you, the Lord, you have, your eyes are like the lotus petals. Pushkarakshaha. Lotus is something very familiar for us in Asia. In fact, there was an article in the Newsweek, maybe 10 years ago, I think, about the purity of the lotus. And after a lot of research, they found out that the lotus petal and the leaf, they don't get stained by water or dust even. They remain pure. And the significance of lotus we have in our culture. The gods and the goddesses are either sitting on a lotus, standing on a lotus, or holding a lotus, and their eyes are lotus-like, feet are lotus-like. So indicating the purity. That is the main thing to be understood here. And these namas, when we take a Pushkarakshaha, this is meant for Upasana. Upasana is Saguna Brahma Dhyanam. Again, to visualize the infinite Lord in a finite form, we have such namas like Pushkarakshaha. Okay. Alright, then what is the next nama after this is Mahaswanaha. Yeah, this may be a little bit unfamiliar to us. Mahaswanaha. Mahan we know, Maha is great, and Swanaha. Swanaha means sound or Nadaha. Sound or Nadaha. Now you, O Lord, you are in the form of that most auspicious sound. And what is that sound? The sound of Om. It is said that Brahmadev, before starting the Srishti, uttered these two mantras. Atha Om, Atha Om, Atha Om. And also in every cycle of creation, the Vedas are also born, which we have personified as Brahmadev, who is Chaturmukha. The four faces stand for the four Vedas. And how are the Vedas born in the every cycle of creation? As sound. That is what is meant here. Mahaswanaha means you who have manifested as the auspicious sound of the mantras that were heard by the rishis in the depths of their meditation. And that is why the rishis are called mantra drashtaraha, the seers of the mantras. Vishwamitra heard the Gayatri mantra. Like that, the rishis received all the mantras in their deep meditations, and then it has come down through the parampara, rishi parampara. So that is the sound here referred to. It's interesting when we talk about sound. Like right now, the bhasha that I'm using and you are listening, this is the grossest sound. There are 4 levels of sound. Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama, Vaikhari. So the sound that we are hearing right now is articulate. It can be heard, but this is the grossest form of sound. It's called Vaikhari. But then if you see, how did the sound emerge? What is behind the sound and the words that I'm using? Thought. Yeah. And that is Madhyama, subtle. So the thought is also a form of sound, but it is subtle, precedes the speech. Then even subtler than Madhyama level is the Pashyanti. Pashyanti means that intuitive level where the mind only perceives. We have heard how people just sit quietly, and they talk to each other without opening their mouths. So the minds are communicating. That is the third level of subtle sound. And then finally it is para. And para is this nama here. Para is that undifferentiated om. So we have para, pashyanti, madhyama, vaikhari. Right now we are at the vaikhari stage. Yeah. So the yogis, they trace back from the gross sound of a mantra, they go to the subtlemost mahasvanaha and discover that the Lord is in the form of that subtlemost sound of the Vedas, sound of the mantras, you can say, or simply Om. So with that, we have completed the first line here. We'll just repeat the words. Swayambhu Shambhuradityah Pushkaraksho Mahasvanaha. Swayambhuhu Shambhuhu Adityah Pushkarakshaha Mahasvanaha. Then second line we have Anadhi Nidhanaha. One nama, Dhata, Vidhata, Dhatuhu Uttamaha. Anadhi Nidhanaha is simple to understand, no? Anadi we had earlier also. Anadi means the one without a beginning, without birth. Lord, you are Ajaha. You have no parents. Yeah? You are the parents of all. But then the Lord is also a Nidhanaha. Nidhana means death. So the one who is not born, how can there be death? So you are birthless, you are deathless. In one word, Anadhi Nidhanaha. Yeah? So here we see that Bhagavan is praised here as birthless and deathless, timeless principle upholding the whole universe. But really there is no birth or death for anyone. That is the Vedantic angle, is it not? So everything in creation goes back into unmanifest, avyaktam, and comes forth and becomes vyaktam. Yeah, vyaktam, avyaktam, vyaktam, avyaktam, manifest, unmanifest. There is no destruction. Really, there is only transformation and change. Recycling. Okay? But Bhagavan neither is Adi, neither cause nor effect. Anadi Nidhanaha. Then Dhata. Dhata is also a simple word. Dhata refers to the one who upholds the whole universe. Yeah? And upholds the universe by upholding the dharmas and the karmas. Now the order is there. The easiness. So without that adhishtanam, without the dhata, it's like the universal supervisor, which is not a person, it is a principle, it is a niyati, it is an order. The order in nature. Even when we see chaos in life, really there is an order underlining every chaotic situation. And that is you. You are the dhata, you are all knowledge. Then the next word is vidhata, just a V. And the V prefix in Sanskritam often stands for Visheshena, special dhata. Now vidhata means, this also we have seen earlier in a nama as bhavanaha, bhavayati. So vidhata is the one who is the karma phala data, who decides who is to be born where, under what circumstances, who deserves what. So connecting karma and the phalam, the effort and the result, that is you. You alone do that. And so you uphold the law of karma. Yeah? And so it is said that as vidhata, we can appreciate that the Lord alone is the karta, actor. Ahankara vimudhatma kartahamiti manyate. Gita says, the one who thinks that I am doing, I have achieved this in life, is a vimudhatma, deluded. But really it is the Lord who is inspiring the activity and granting the results. So he is both Karma and karma phalam. Yeah. Then we come to the last nama here, which is also unusual. Dhatuhu uttamaha. So some acharyas, they take both the names Dhatuhu and Uttamaha. Yeah, but Pujya Swamiji has taken only as Uttamaha is exalted, Utkrishtaha, superior, most superior. And Dhatuhu means that which sustains. So, Lord, you are the most exalted sustainer of everything. Now, let us look at the word Dhatuhu. Yeah? This Dhatuhu appears in various contexts. In Ayurveda, what does Dhatu mean? Dhatu means a tissue. So, in Ayurveda, they speak of the Sapta Dhatus, like bone marrow, muscle, fat, seminal fluid, and like that there are 7 tissues. So when anything is imbalanced, then their treatment will be to restore that balance in that particular dhatu. That is Ayurvedic context. Then in our Vyakaranam, Sanskritam, dhatu is the verbal root. Like Vishnu. We saw Vishnu, the verbal root dhatu is Vish. And Vish means Vyaptau, all pervading. So Vishnu is that all pervading tattva. So we have, 2200 dhatus in Sanskritam. And if you know the dhatus, then you can arrive at the meaning of a word. So from a dhatu, we can build words. So you see, whatever context you take, dhatu means what? The fundamental basic substance or the root. And here this nama says, you are that paramadhatuhu. You are the most exalted, that building block, or you are the root and the fundamental essence of everything. So that is none other than pure consciousness or adhisthana. Okay, so those are the 8 or 9 names of this shloka number 5. Swayambhu Shambhuradityah Pushkaraksho Mahaswanaha Anadinidhano Dhata Vidhata Dhaturuttamaha. Now we go on to the next shloka. Shloka number 6. Aprameyo Hrishikeshah Padmanabho Maraprabhuh. Aprameyo Hrishikeshah Padmanabho Maraprabhuh. Vishwakarma Manustvashta Sthavishthasthaviro Dhruvaha. Vishwakarma Manustvashta Sthavishthasthaviro Dhruvaha. There are, I think, 9 namas here. Let me break those. Aprameyaha, Hrishikeshaha, Padmanabhaha, Amaraprabhuhu, Vishwakarma, Manuhu, Tvashta, Sthavishtaha, Sthaviro Dhruvaha. Like in the last shloka, Sthaviro Dhruvaha also refers to one nama. Sthaviraha being the adjective, Dhruvaha being the noun. We'll come to that at the end in sequence. So here again some namas are familiar and some are not. Now let's take up Aprameyaha. Aprameyaha has come in the Gita also. Maybe your homework can be to locate it. Which chapter? I'll give you a hint in the Prathama Shatkam. Okay. Aprameya is very frequently used, It means na prameyaha. Prameyaha means what? That which can be known, which can be grasped, which can be conceived. Yes, very good. Chapter 2. Shloka number Anashino Prameyasya, like that it will go. So, that which can be known, which can be conceived, which can be conceptualized and grasped is what? Prameya. Like, for example, the pen. I can see it as a concrete, tangible object. Yeah, so this is prameya vastu, prameyaha. Yeah, you take anything, you take the pot. Pot has to make its appearance in every class. Ghataha asti. So now the different shape, and different use, function. So nama rupa kriya jagat is prameya vastu, which can be known. Known how? Here I want to share another slide, which is Upanishad students, we have done this, and that is, see, anything in the world can be known through what is called as the Pancha Pramanas. They are Pratyaksha, Anumanam, Arthapati, Upamanam, Anupalabdhihi. Don't get confused with all the Sanskrit names here, but Adi Shankaracharya goes into great detail for this nama, Aprameyaha, by saying, how do we gain knowledge of anything? By one of these 5 methods. Pratyaksha means direct perception. I see a flower. In fact, right now, I am Pratyaksha to you. You are Pratyaksha to me. Right? And we are hearing sounds. So the Pancha Jnanendriyani are Pratyaksha Pramanas. Help us to gain direct perception. Then Anumana. Anumana means, we just heard the namas, right? So I inferred that the sound is coming from a mosque. I don't see the mosque, but my inference is based on the pratyaksha. That's called anumanam. Okay. Arthapati is a multi-step inference. Doctors often use this. They will say, oh, there is this symptom of shivering and fever. Then they'll do a diagnostic and then eliminate this cause and that cause, and then finally arrive at the cause. Arthapatihi. Upamanam is, there is an animal called Nilgai in Nagpur, Gurukulam. But we may not have seen it, right? So I have to use Upamanam, illustration, to tell you what is a Nilgai. I'll say, it is like a deer. It has got antlers. It is wild animal. So then you get an idea of Nilgai animal. Then Anupalabdhi is a very peculiar pramana, which is, I say that there is no pot in my hand. Yeah. And so knowing the absence of a thing is also a pramana. So what is this finally? How do we connect it to the nama? Can we know Bhagavan by any of these pramanas? No. Because the very first Pratyaksha pramana is ruled out. No. Bhagavan is not a thing which I can hear, taste, touch, feel. And that is intangible. We're talking about the Vedantic Nirguna Bhagavan here. Not the Avatara Purusha. Avatara Purusha gives darshan. I'm able to see and hear. I may even talk to Bhagavan and listen to Bhagavan speaking. That is a Pauranika level. Okay. So, Aprameya here means you cannot be known by these 5 modes of perception that one normally uses to know anything in the world. Then how to know Bhagavan? By the 6th pramana. The 6th is Shabda Pramana, Veda Pramana, Shastra Pramana, which is what we are doing as we study the Gita or the Upanishads. And even there, how do these Vedas reveal Bhagavan? Not directly. They are showing that Bhagavan is really Sakshi, is the subject. See, before I perceive anything, I have to be there, right? So the subject has to be there before perception takes place. Yeah. So these Pancha Pramanas cannot reveal Bhagavan because Bhagavan is already there as Sakshi. Yeah? So the Vedas say they remove my limited and erroneous understanding of Bhagavan by saying Neti Neti. Bhagavan is not this alone, not that alone. And it is finally Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Tat Brahma Tvam Asi. Little Vedantic section here for all of you. So, Sakshitva, Shankaracharya says that you are, O Lord, this Nama praises the Lord as Sakshi, yeah? And as the eye of the eye, and ear of the ear, and speech of the speech, and so on. So just in short, we have to remember that Bhagavan is aprameyaha, means not available for the pancha pramanas, but it can, one who can be known only through the sixth Shabda Pramana. That is the Vedanta Shastras. Okay. Next we have Rishikeshaha. Yeah, you saw that Rishikeshaha here. Now Rishikeshaha, note it is Hr, yeah, and not Ru. Rishikesh. It's not Rishi. Rishi are the sages. But here, what is Rishi? The meaning given is Rishika. Rishika means a sense organ. Like eyes, mouth, ear, nose, skin. These are the Jnanendriyani. There are 10 Pancha Jnanendriyani, Pancha Karmendriyani. So Rishika is a sense organ. And even the mind is considered the sixth sense organ. So Rishikesha is the one who is the Isha, Lord of all the Rishikas. And that is you. So the Lord is the master of all the senses. Yeah. See, tomorrow, the night of Shivaratri, it's all about mastering the sense organs, right? We observe Maunam, we observe fasting, then we are observing a restraint on the senses, which are otherwise doing whatever, comes to our mind, We eat, we drink, and we talk, everything. But tomorrow, we are trying to be a Rishikeshaha. Means we are mastering the senses. That is the Jiva. But you, Lord, you are the perfect master of the senses. How? Because without you, senses cannot function. So each of the sense organs, the mind and the body, that is in short, Anatma Kshetram is made sentient by whom? By you. You are Rishikeshaha, the one who empowers all the sense organs to function, and the mind. Yeah. Now that is one meaning, the more common meaning. Yeah? Now the uncommon meaning is, the latter part of the word Kesha. Kesha means hair, right? So Rishikesha is describing the beauty of the Lord as, oh Lord, your hair, Harshati. Harshati means brings joy to the devotees. How? We have to stretch our imagination here. So here, Shankaracharya adds that we have to imagine that in the day, the rays of the sun, and in the night, the rays of the moon, they are the hair of the Lord. So the hair of the Lord is the pervading light of the sun during the day, which awakens us and blesses and nourishes us. And at night, the light of the moon calms us down and makes us sleep. So you are Rishikeshaha. Your hair, that is the rays. Hair is equated to rays, okay? Solar rays and moonlight. Harshati, fill the globe with happiness and peace and contentment. Okay? So that is Rishikeshaha. Nothing to do with Rishi. That's a different spelling there. Rishi is Muni. Okay? Then we have Padmanabha, which came in the Dhyana Shloka today. Padmanabha is very familiar. Now there is a Padma, lotus, emerged from the navel, Nabhi. So you are the one, from whose navel the lotus appeared, then Brahmadev, and then the creation began. So you have manifested as Brahmadev. So the symbolic meaning, see, all these are Puranic definitions. The Puranas and the Itihasas, they have not directly come from Bhagavan. They have come from where? From a human intellect. No? Vyasacharya has composed the 18 Puranas. No? And Valmiki Vyasa, the two Itihasas, Ramayana and Mahabharatam. So there is going to be some masala in all this. So when you say the lotus, Lord Vishnu reclining on the Seshanaga, that is the causal state of the universe. Then the lotus emerging is the cosmic mind, Brahmadev, Hiranyagarbha, who is ready to create the world. Yeah. So that effortless, unmanifest stage, Karana, Shariram of the Jagat, is personified in our Puranas as Mahavishnu reclining on the Seshanaga. And here the Lord is praised as Padmanabha. Very beautiful names for the masculine, gender. Okay. So you are the point of emergence of the universe, and we are going to see the point of return also. Okay. But the next word is Amara Prabhu. Amara Prabhu is one word, Amara Prabhu. Now Prabhu we saw earlier in a earlier shloka. Prabhu means the Lord who has unsurpassed skill is Prabhu. You can do anything. Make even the impossible possible is, effortless for the Lord. Yeah? So you are Prabhu. But here the word is Amara Prabhu. Who are the Amaras? Amara means who don't die, who have no Maranam. So Amara here are referred to as the Devatas. Who are the Devatas? Devatas are Agni, Vayu, Varuna, Surya, Chandra, Prithvi, Kala Devata. In the Hindu culture, any phenomenon is personified as a Devata. We have Vriksha Devata, Kala Devata, everything. So these Devatas are called Amaras. Why? They are also Jivas, no? But they are Jivas who, on account of their Punyam, they have this exalted status of being a Devata. So their lifespan longevity is much more than us. No? Earthly lifespan is what? 100 years maximum, 110. But the Devatas, in comparison, they have a much larger life duration. And hence they are called Amaras in comparison. But even their lifespan is finite. Even the Brahmadev, the tenure will come to an end. No? Then that pralaya happens. Okay. Now these Devatas, we know that they bless us. No, they bless us with time. They bless us with rains and food grains and wind and sunlight and moonlight. No? But whose command do they follow? Your command. Oh Mahavishnu, you are Prabhu. You are ordering them. No, that does not mean there is a boss, who's called Mahavishnu. It is the Niyati. You see the orderly way in which things function, how the tidal waves arise on moonlight. Who is doing all this? Photosynthesis happening. So you are the Prabhu of all the Amara Devatas. That's a simple meaning here. They all have to obey you. You are Devon ka Dev, you are Mahadev. Okay. So we are seeing the glory and the power of that one Lord who has so many functions and so many faces. So that's the first line. Aprameyaha, Shishikeshaha, Padmanabhaha, Amara Prabhu. Second line, Vishwakarma. Vishwakarma is also, I think, known to most of us, from the Puranas again. But first we'll take the other meaning. The Vishwakarma Yasya Saha. That is, all the actions of the world and all their results belong to whom? Belong to you. So you are Vishwakarma. To whom the entire Jagat belongs. Jagat is also karma phalam. And inside the Jagat, we have so many varieties of karma phalam. Happenings, events, occurrences. Yeah. And then there are karmas also, activities. So all of them belong to whom? You. So you are Vishwakarma. And we are all what? Instruments in your hands. Yeah. Instruments in this cosmic activity called Jagat. That is one meaning. Then the second meaning, I'm sure you all know, Vishwakarma is the divine architect who is supposed to have built all the heavens. No, the architect of the heavens. But here the Lord is praised as a divine architect of the world. And it's easy to understand. You see the world, it's incredible and wondrous diversity. No two things are alike, no two fingerprints. There is infinite species, and every being has a purpose, has a mission, and is unique. So you are the divine architect of this multifaceted, manifold, diverse Jagat. And hence what? Vishwakarma. And also look at the order, There is a grand order that is manifest in the Jagat. How the seasons happen, how the orbits are ordered, sunrise, sunset. So you are Vishwakarma, you are the divine architect. Next is Manuhu. Now Manuhu comes from the dhatu, verbal root man. Man means to think. So here the Lord is praised as the one who is the perfect thinker. Mananashilaha Bhagavan, who thinks so logically, so systematically, and who can make no errors. That is one meaning of Manu. See, I am giving the varieties of meanings as per Shankara Bhashyam. A few I leave out. I don't do it exhaustively, but most important meanings we are seeing. Okay. Then we are all called Manavaha. No, Manava means Manushyas. So we are considered descendants of Manu. Second meaning of Manu is, in the Kalpa of Brahmadev, that is in one cycle of creation, the whole cycle is divided into a number of durations, 14 durations. So we are in the duration called Vaivasvata Manvantara. So this Vaivasvata Manvantara, which appears in the Sankalpa for the pujas, so this is the name of the Manu whose descendants we are. It's a very long period of time. And so then there is a Manava Dharma book also. Dharma Shastras are there. What is the code of conduct for that particular duration of the cycle and so on. So what does this mean? Manu refers to that administrators. So Vaivasvata Manu is one administrator. But it is you have manifested as that Manu. So you are Manu. Okay. Prajapatihi in other words. No? And then Manu we can also connect with the name Mantra. Mantra is sound. Yeah. So you are the origin of the divine sound. Yeah. And this we saw today itself, Mahaswanaha. You have manifested as the great sound of the Vedas, Vedic mantras, and then from that we have all the mantras. So Manu has all these three meanings. No? Then Tvashta. Tvashta is an unfamiliar one. Yeah, Tvashta. No? Tvashta comes from the root in Sanskrit, which means Tvaksh. Tvaksh means to shrink, to thin out. Yeah? So what is this function of Bhagavan? Oh Bhagavan, you are the divine shrinker. Shrinker means you are swallowing the Jagat when it is time to do that. So what do? The manifest Vyaktam Jagat returns to you and becomes unmanifest Avyaktam. So you are Tvashta. Yeah? But really, we have to understand it as there is no destruction. The tree goes back to the seed, and the seed will again bring back the tree. So, Vyaktam, Avyaktam, this is an eternal cycle. Yeah? But you are the one who governs this. You are Tvashta. Okay? And this function also we have seen before. Then the last two namas in the second line is Stavishtaha. Stavishtaha, sorry. Stavishtaha is a very interesting nama and it means the stout Bhagavan. The extremely fat and stout Bhagavan is Sthulaha. Sthulaha means, expanded. Now, why do we say praise Bhagavan like this, Stavishtaha? Because, remember the 11th chapter of the Gita, Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga, if the whole universe is considered the body of, the Lord, then the Lord has to be Stavishtaha, has a huge form, Virat Purushaha. And so that Stavishtaha is simply you whose form is the whole universe. Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. You include the subtlest of particles and the most grandest of phenomenon is all within you. So you are that all-inclusive form and hence Stavishtaha. Yeah? Then we have the last nama here, which is Staviraha Dhruvaha. Now Dhruv, Dhruv is a beautiful name for boys, no? In the north they say Dhruv. Yeah? In Sanskritam, Dhruvaha. Dhruvaha means what? Like the Dhruva Nakshatra, that which is eternal, unchanging, steady and firm is the meaning of Dhruvaha. Yeah? The pole star, they say, that which guides. So that which is firm and steady. Okay? Now Staviraha. Staviraha means ancient. Purana. Okay, ancient. Staviraha. And so together these two namas is the last nama for the day today. Staviraha is an adjective to Dhruvaha. So, O Lord, you are eternal. You are changeless. And you are Staviraha. Staviraha means ancient. Anadi. So, ancient means you have no birth. Yeah. Now, the thing to be appreciated here is, see in our country also we have so many ancient monuments, ancient temples and statues and forests also, very old forests. But are they all Dhruva? No. They get dilapidated, they get ruined and then they have to be protected as, protected forest area or a heritage site, world heritage site like Mahabalipuram, Tanjore temple. They have to be protected. So they are not Dhruvaha, but not you. So you, the Lord, you are not only ancient, but there is no change. So you are perennial, changeless, ancient. That's why the word Purana really means Pura api Navaha. Pura api Navaha means that which is ancient and yet fresh and new. And that can be only one thing, Atma or Bhagavan. Anything else you take, Anatma body, Anatma world, Anatma possessions will be subject to decay, decline and disappearance into Avyaktam. Will be recycled, but not you. Yeah? So you are that perennial, changeless Tattvam and that is Bhagavan. Okay. So we finished a few more namas today. Just a quick look. Aprameyo Hrishikeshaha Padmanabho Maraprabhuः Vishwakarma Manustvashta Sthavishtastaviro Dhruvaha. About 9 here in the earlier one also. Swayambhu Shambhuraditya Pushkaraksho Mahaswanaha Anadinidano Dhata Vidhata Dhaturuttamaha. So that is I think so far maybe 55 names would be covered. I'm not really keeping a count. So you see that even with just one nama, if we contemplate upon it, we can arrive at the Tattvam. Yeah? So these countless namas are to maximize the Sattva Guna, yeah, and to be able to to dwell upon the infinite Lord, yeah, in any form. And that's why there is a mantra which says, Sharire jarjari bhute vyadigraste kalebare aushadam janhavi toyam vaidyo narayano harihi. Maybe some of you know this mantra. It's a very famous mantra which says that when the anatma body is gripped with disease, and suffering or even mental affliction, then what is the medicine? Ganges, Ganga Jalam. And who's the doctor? Vishnu, Mahavishnu. Vaidyo Narayano Harihi. So what this means is that everything is a manifestation of the Lord. The patient is manifestation of the Lord, disease, the medicine and the doctor. Yeah. So that is the total surrender aspect which such Parayana brings us to. Yeah. And in fact, this mantra we also repeat when we give medicine to somebody. So I was telling you about water, how we treat water or anything for that matter with mantras. Then we see the power of the mantras pervade that vastu and change the molecular composition and bring about a more beneficial effect to ourselves and to others. Yeah. Okay, so we conclude then today's session. Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahimahishaah Go Brahmanebhyah Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyah Prithvi Sasyashalini Deshoyam Shobharahitah Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaah सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ